Good evening, race fans, and welcome here to Daytona for tonight's opener of the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. My name's Robert Hill Jr. Joining me tonight, as always, is Chris Wright. Chris, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good, Robert. I'm excited to see the season kick off here in this Xfinity car.
Yeah, I am as well. It's going to be a great night here tonight. Just taking a quick look at the race format, 120 laps, so a longer one tonight. Stages at the end of 30 coming to 31 and 60 coming to 61 with 5 sets of tires. And Chris Wright, we just had some drama in qualifying as we take a run through the order here. Tommy Ryan on the pole alongside Tyler Fody in row number 1. Row 2, Trey Eidson and Jeff Ryan. Row 3, EJ O'Rourke and Tyler Popp. Row 4, Justin Fuller and Leighton Norgard with Nick Massey and Johnny Thomas rounding out the top 10. Chris, take us through to position number 20, my friend.
Well, we're out there in 11th. We got Ethan Burrell, Josh Robin, David Carpenter, Jeff Green, Dustin Dewar. That's the top 15. We get Jesse Racimus, Scott Crump, William White, Hunter Smith, and Chase Cabre round out the top 20.
That is the top 20. 21st tonight, Andrew Hardcastle alongside Michael Hosick, fresh off a third-place finish last night. Tonight, the return of Jacob Adams alongside Scott Haney. Just behind them, Josh Personette and Brandon Key. Seth Rawls, Gerald Campbell, Kyle Henshaw, and Connor Thompson round out the top 30. Chris, take us to the 40th spot.
Well, in 40th, you got Carlos, our broadcast partner and partner in crime here during the week. Then we got Jaden, Matthew Weeks, and Rory Collins round out the top 43. And I got a little nugget here for us. You ready? A streak has came to an end.
Okay.
By qualifying second instead of first, Tyler Fody did not continue his streak. He had won the last 4 straight Super Speedway pools. Of those 4, they've won 3 of them. Talking about the team as a whole. So they're going for their 3rd straight season opening win, and they came up just 1 spot short here for his 4th straight pole.
So of note here tonight, Chris, DNQs the drivers not to make tonight's race. R.C. Enerson, Josh Freed, Zach Evans, Ty McIntosh, Kendall Noah Player, Brent Jones, Kynan Jones, Gavin Hibbs, Josh Smith, Gavin Higgins, and Mark Rebilas. Not a good night to be a Jones or a Gavin here, as you are not going to make tonight's race. What's going to happen now is you see the drivers single filing out here, Chris. They are going to take a turn down pit road just to make sure that they understand where their pit box is, because with it being a larger field, some drivers are actually going to have to share pit boxes.
Yeah, this will be interesting, getting to take a look at all this, you know. Tell you what, though, Lake Norman came in here as a confident bunch. Tyler said that they plan on winning this race, maybe even having 3 or 4 of the top 5, so we'll see what happens. Got some heavy hitters out here, like you mentioned, Josh Adams is out here. Got our pole sitter, Tommy Ryan. You got some other guys out here, too. We got Chase Cabre out here, Nick Massey making a start. Johnny Thomas, always a threat out here at these super speedway races. Jeff Green. Scott Crump coming from the middle of the pack here. Jacob Adams is out here. Got Gerald Campbell, another partner in crime, driving the 00. I think you'll hear from Gerald on the podcast tomorrow. Getting ready to start up the Belly Up Cup series here on Wednesday with our Daytona 500. So a lot of guys out here with a shot. Chad Frankenfield starting outside the top 30. Stanley Tooker starting back there. And then we got our surprises, you know. Goodman could win this thing. Anybody could win this thing, but Goodman's a guy that always seems to be around at the end of these things. So,
well, you know what, Chris? Go ahead right now. This is your chance. Make your pick to take the win here in tonight's JD's Hilltop Salvage 300 right here at Daytona International Speedway.
Make my pick. I will pick.
This is hard as hell, I know.
It is. This is super difficult because there's 43 guys starting this race, and I'm going to say about 43 of them could win this thing. I'll take Nick Massey out here. He's a smart driver, always seems to find his way around things, and he got to race his way into the 500 last week, so I'll take Nick.
McNasty right there in that 9th spot. I'm going to have to go. This is tough, man.
I believe that is a Lake Norman entry, right?
I'm going to go Josh
Massey,
Adams.
yeah.
I'm going to go Josh Adams. That is a Lake Norman entry for Nick Massey as the pace car about to make that turn down pit road. We are fixing to go green here, my friend Chris Wright. Let's kick off this season in style, why don't we? And we are green. Tommy Ryan on the loud pedal already. Let's see what they can do up top. Not as uniform. That's Tyler Fode and EJ O'Rourke. Actually, no, that is Jeff Ryan, the pusher behind Tyler Fode as they head down to turn number 1. Tommy Ryan leads us here in the early going of today's race. It's going to be a good one. Lots of action. We saw a lot of action last night, Chris, in the Truck Series race, and I think we're due for a lot of that here tonight as well.
Yeah, and I believe a lot of guys are asking for some black clears here, but it should be an exciting race. You see them double wide. The truck race the other night, I don't think it was anything anybody wanted. It was a wreck fest there. A lot of wrecks, a lot of carnage. So I think a lot of guys want this thing to be clean. So I'm just going to put it out there. We want to see them go caution-free and have a great race at the end. I think we can do it.
I don't think we can, but we'll try. We'll think about it at least. How about we do that? Let's just think about it. Maybe we'll go caution free.
We'll do it, man. Caution free. Right here. 120 laps.
We're going to try. We're going to try.
But it's double file all the way through like the start of the race. You got the 77 on the bottom, 66 on the top. No third lane as of yet. Lots of space being given throughout the field. Nobody's really up on top of anybody at this point. No surprise, I don't think these cars get quite the run that the trucks do. You know, the truck's got a big hole in the area, so you get a big run when you're second, third truck in line. I mean, you get a big run in these cars too, but not like the trucks. So
just looking towards the tail, really not much going on, man. Everyone just single file out, like you said. Maybe ride. Well, I say single file. Everyone's 2x2. What am I talking about? Everyone just kind of riding it out, seeing what they can do.
Yeah, and we got some heavy hitters that started outside the top 25, 30 there that are going to try to make their way up through here. But they'll try to hopefully be smart about it. Not be too crazy like they just mentioned in here. We got stages on lap 30 and on lap 60, but no yellow. So
no stage yellow, that's right.
First points of the season about 27 laps away.
Definitely working our way towards those points. The top 10 will get stage points at the end of lap 30, coming to 31, at the end of 60, coming to 61. So we'll see who can get those points, because it definitely does help set you up for a nice run to start your season. And of course, if you win the stage, you do get a playoff point, so that's always nice as well. As you see a bit of pushing up on the high side, that's Tommy Ryan getting pushed by Tyler Fode on the inside. Trey Eidson with a push from EJ O'Rourke. Just behind Fode, actually a good gap back, is Jeff Ryan. So Fode in a little bit of a Ryan sandwich here. We'll see if he likes being the meat or not. Don't think so. A little bit of movement towards the tail of this pack. I believe that's around maybe Brandon Key in the 41.
I'll tell you this, one car that's kind of, I think, hanging around at the back right now is your pick, Josh Adams. It's not been a great speed weeks for him so far. You know, he missed out on the Daytona 500. He did not have a great truck race of the night, got involved in, you know, quite a few wrecks, so he might be a little gun shy tonight, just hanging out, you know, wanting to see the checkered flag in something this week.
Yeah, rough week, like you said, for Josh. Not quite able to work his way into the Daytona 500. So really definitely an unfortunate time for him, but we'll see if he's able to have a nice run here tonight and maybe get himself a victory to kick off the season.
He's driving a great looking car, you know. The Kane sponsorship has moved over to him completely 100%, no longer a part of our program, but still great chicken, and the car that Josh is driving tonight, it looks fantastic. So
yeah, definitely some mediocre chicken on that one car. Looks
I'll
like he's
leave right
losing
now.
the pack a little bit.
I will get up and I will head out the door, okay?
Looks like he's losing the pack a little bit. Might have needed to be sponsored by KFC, as now he's able to get dragged back up towards that field. As you do see a couple of guys out of position. That's Josh Robin up on the high side. He enjoys that outside wall. I don't think there was a moment or a lap of the Daytona duels last week that he wasn't hitting the outside wall, Chris.
Yeah, looking at that car, is that the Halodega car? Does he know where we are?
Yeah, I don't think he does, as he nearly gets the outside wall just behind David Tooker. A couple of these guys,
we're wrecking. Oh. Not good.
See if we can find out what just happened. David Tooker involved. Definitely starts ahead of him, though. Let's see who gets hooked.
Johnny Thomas gets a big piece. You mentioned Tooker.
Looks like one of the Ryan brothers getting in that one. The 35 of Jeff Ryan. Ooh, this is going to be a big one, Chris.
Oh, Jeff Green's in there. The 68's in there somewhere.
That actually starts
70.
off around that 66 machine of Tommy Ryan. Does he get hooked by Tyler Fody? Ooh.
I'm just trying to look and see who's
involved. Right here. Right here. The wreck starts up with Tommy Ryan and Tyler Fody. Looks like a bump gone wrong from that 40 machine. Their noses actually come together. Fody's nose appears in the rear end of Tommy's car. So a little bit of netcode or something coming in play there.
That's connection issue on one of those cars. One of those cars must have had a quick blink.
Yeah.
Started going through the other one. Trey Eidson gets a good chunk of damage there. You mentioned the 35 getting in there. Johnny Thomas, Jeff Green involved heavy. The 70 gets in there with Seamus. 68, 39's in there. The Halodega car we were just talking about, getting a big piece of it. We got the 45 machine down there. But I will say this, Josh Adams, Chad Frankenfield had made their way to the back, and they were able to just get stopped back there and were slowed down enough to where they both made it through that wreck. So there goes, the caution-free race that I was talking about. Looks like Hardcastle's still sitting on pit road. Jeff Green, Jeff Ryan, Tommy Ryan, so both Ryan brothers. Jay's trying to get his car fixed, but there's a lot of damage there. Brandon Ultra's got some damage. Gerald Campbell's got a little tiny bit of damage. I think he's going to be all right. Tooker, we saw him go spinning. He's got some pretty heavy damage. Johnny's lots of damage to a lot of cars here.
Well, Chris, looks like we have a couple people that are afraid to get bumped out here on the racetrack. And not pleased that they feel like they were incorrectly pushed in the corner. Well, sir, I could tell you that bump drafting is part of super speedway racing. Welcome to Race Cars.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be upset about getting pushed, especially when you're pulled out there trying to take the lead. If you're running at the front, you've got to be aggressive, and that means you're going to get pushed, and you have to do some pushing. But you're more than welcome to drop to the back. That was just somebody's connection didn't quite stay stable there, and just unfortunate. And we didn't see either car blink. I didn't notice either car blink. I don't know what you saw, Robert, but I didn't notice either car blink.
I didn't see any car blink. Just unfortunately looks like something, a brief disconnect between the cars ended up putting them together. Unfortunate that a lot of cars were just involved in that one. Let's see if we can take another look a little bit further back, though.
I think we got somebody who's going to come in here. Maybe he'll hang around with us for a little bit. I don't know, but we got Johnny Thomas joining us now. Johnny, definitely not what you wanted tonight. We know that the big race is on Wednesday, but hoping to run maybe more than 7 laps tonight. Take us through what you saw, what happened out there.
Yeah, it looks like the 40 car struck again. It's a shame. He did it to me at Talladega last season. Looks like he did it to the 66. I don't even know who the 66 is. Um, and yeah, it's cool to push in the corners, but it just looks like there was some movement within the 66 and the 40, and it caused the 66 to get turned around, caused a big mess up front. Lap 7, man. And that sucks pretty bad, but you got to learn who you're pushing, and then you got to learn how to push. And he's pretty experienced, so he should know how to push. He's been doing this long enough. Disappointing into a short day.
Yeah. Now, how do you put this behind you and get ready to race? Obviously for 500 miles on Wednesday.
I guess be like I have in the past and ride around and be bored for 350 miles and let everybody else wreck, because that's the best strategy to do this. This is just a big mess. So we'll.
And what do you think about running around Fody on Wednesday night?
I have all the confidence in Fody. He's a champion, rightfully so. So you got to race around him. And it just seems like these cars and him aren't too good of a combo on these plate tracks. Because it's happened multiple times.
Well, all right, Johnny, we're getting ready to go green. We'll give you a quick chance here to shout out your sponsors, and we know they're Belly Up, and obviously everything's going to come on here.
Yeah, Belly Up Sports, everybody watching. I think my dad's watching, maybe my mom. Who knows? But yeah, short day. Have fun.
All right, Johnny, we will see you later, and we will see Johnny Wednesday, I am sure, with a shot to win the Daytona 500 on Wednesday. Yep.
Well, Chris, we are back under green. Tyler Fody, the lead car up on the high side, and he's got some enemies right now. Doesn't sound like people are too pleased, but I'm hoping if they go back and watch it, they'll see that really something just went wrong there, and it's just unfortunate. We do have a lot of cars out of this, though. We're already down 7 cars from the start of the race, so big
it's
whoopsie.
Very unfortunate. But Trey's all right. I thought Trey got good damage. I mean, he's still sitting out here leading the thing. Does he have nose damage? Is it okay?
Car's looking okay. Like I mentioned, still a couple cars.
Right front. Look at that right front on that Trey Eitzen machine.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Look at that right front for sure. Looking like a damaged soup can. Someone just walked down the soup aisle, threw it on the floor, and tried to get that discount on that chicken noodle. Well, not working too good for you there, Trey.
Yeah, and he's getting pushed hard, and they're still losing ground to that top lane. That tells me he's probably not going to be a great lead car the rest of the race. But he might be okay right here in line.
We'll keep an eye on this throughout and see what happens. Some of these guys getting bumped a little bit below the line. Seeing Jesse Racines, Josh Robin way back here. These two may have gotten a slight piece of the earlier incident. Ethan Stanley, Chris, up 25 spots. Josh Adams up 30.
Yeah, that 77's hurt bad.
Matthew Weeks 37. This is wild. Oh, here we go. We're going to go 3 wide. I bet you it's Justin Fuller.
Yeah, that 77's hurt bad. He can't keep pace even behind cars.
Yeah, a little bit of damage for these guys. Not quite able to do what they were able to earlier. This is going to hinder the front of the field. Actually, they are going to get by Eidson. Watching that bump there between Dustin Dewar and the 55 of Justin Fuller. Not quite able to get hooked up here quite yet. Now they do, and they're going to get a nice run to the outside of Ethan Burrell and Tyler Fody. You can see 3 cars bumping each other there. Now they do disconnect as Josh Adams just falls back just a wee bit here. Trying to see who that is up on the high side. Is that EJ O'Rourke, Chris?
I believe that's Ethan Stanley up there in the Blue Egg marketing machine.
Yes, new schemes for some of these guys. Actually, that looks like the same scheme for Ethan, but a couple of these guys rocking new schemes here. Look at Jaden Racines up in the top 10. Shout out to him here. Obviously only on lap 14. Still exceptionally early.
Yeah, and we still have, we got Ethan Burrell, Tyler Fody side by side for the lead here. Heading down into turn number 3. Pushing on either line. Oh, the 55 gets the 40 a little bit loose. Heading down into turn 3. So they work their way through 3 and 4. Both cars pushing pretty hard right now. believe that's teammates on the bottom. Not quite teammates on the top, but Fuller will do whatever he has to lead. Doesn't matter who he has to work with. You got Dustin Dewar right there as well in the 32 machine. They head down into turn 1. Fody gets clear. Back down to the bottom. Now Burrell pushing on the 40. Dustin Dewar now pushing the 55 with Justin Fuller. Side by side once again for the lead. We got Matthew Weeks showing himself up here at the front. We got Harry coming up through here in the 51.
All right, Chris, we were able to, well, unfortunately, we did have to send a couple guys home here due to the 6-lap down rule. So Jake Connor, Jeff Ryan, Johnny Thomas, Jeff Green, Tommy Ryan, Andrew Hardcastle, all out of the race.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and they are getting 3 wide, so that wreck has not scared some of these boys off.
As EJ O'Rourke leading the top side there with help from Kean Raleigh, the winner at Watkins Glen last year in the Pit Pass Number Carcass Series.
Pulled up to that very top.
David Tooker there, Matthew Weeks. See if we can get Trading Paints to do its job here and trade some paints with us. You're going to see a lot of white cars on the screen here, folks. We're going to go marshmallow racing here briefly.
And Josh Adams has pulled up there in front of that 55 machine as well to try to take the lead. Matthew Weeks trying to lead that very top lane. But looks like when Matthew pulled out, everybody else that was up there kind of bailed on it. Not sure if it killed the momentum or if they just didn't want to push Matt. We'll see, I guess. But they all jumped down
see
back into
indeed.
the middle. Fuller's got Josh Adams nearly clear here on the top side with the push from Fuller. But Fody gets a big run through the entry and middle. He's going to get completely clear of Adams. Fuller comes back up to the rear bumper of Adams. Third lane kind of forming up again. They're going to try to make another run at it. 37 pushing the 40, the 55 pushing the 1, and the 4 is pushing the 11. Weeks is all the way up just now, trying to creep up to the outside of the 3rd row. Or 4th row, depending. Oh, Weeks gets up into the fence. Oh, Weeks has turned. There they go, wrecking once again.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And the Pat is behind the wreck too.
As we take a look here at the contact that caused the yellow, looks like Dustin Durr disappears. And it's going to be a chain reaction that actually leads to this, Chris, because Dusty disappears from the screen, so don't even know if he was involved in this.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get away clean, but unfortunately for the others, the 11's going to get damaged. The 54, the 07, the 51 gets in there. The 4, I think, is going to be the car that gets the worst of it. I think Ethan Stanley gets a little piece of it as well. And then behind this group, they wreck trying to check up for the wreck. Chad Frankenfield checks up. The 71 checks up. And it kind of surprised them all. And Carpenter gets into the back of Chad. Goody gets into the back of him. That sends Carpenter spinning, and he's going to come down and he's going to collect the 16 pretty hard here. The 44 is also going to go spinning.
Yeah, lots of cars getting picked up in that one. Unfortunately, it is going to be a racing incident, Chris, just because we don't actually see what happens with that Dustin Durr machine as he disappeared. Unfortunately, we are having an issue with trading paints tonight. Not sure what is actually going on, but I think it's only the Toyotas that aren't showing up. So really kind of stupid that this is an issue, because everyone that's not in a Toyota is showing up just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no issues with my trading paints over here. Might be something to do with the user.
All right, and Chris Wright has just been fired. I'm just kidding. Yeah, just unfortunate there. Not sure what's going on with the Toyotas, but oopsies. So unfortunate there, Chris. Unfortunate, my friend, that happens again with Netcode. Just an issue here so far tonight with the Netcode. We'll see if maybe that's something that gets sorted out as the race goes on. Hopefully these Toyota paints get sorted out.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't put that as much on netcode as one person's connection.
Yeah, I mean,
that car was blinking.
That's what
there.
I mean. It's a connection issue, but we can't really see what happened with the 32, so I can't rule on that in that way. But anyways, Chris, tonight the JD's Hilltop Salvage 300. Want to give a shout out to Dustin Durr's parents, the folks from JD's Hilltop Salvage, celebrating their 47th wedding anniversary, and of course Mrs. Durr's birthday today. So happy birthday to you, happy anniversary, and we're glad to have you with us here once again on the Elite Racing Network.
And I'm not sure if you see this or not. Chad Frankenfield is missing his rear end. Can you confirm you see that on your end?
Let's take a gander. Chad does not have a rear end. He usually doesn't have a connection. So I guess he's got one thing, loses another. Just unfortunate there for the 15 as the pace car is off. We're going to get set to go green. And it is Ethan Burrell on the loud pedal on the inside lane. That is Willie White. Billy Blanco going to push him out to the lead.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. We had some pitters. We had some guys come in, get some fuel, and fill the tanks up. We're within 10 laps of the end of the stage, so no caution is guaranteed to come out. But the way it's going, about every 10 laps, I think we're getting a good-sized wreck. So.
And again, Chris, of course, these drivers all duking it out for those stage points and the playoff point if you can win this stage. And no caution, like you mentioned, is going to come out for the stage. Obviously, with the intensity, the way the racing usually goes at the end of the stage, it wouldn't be surprising as here comes Ethan Stanley to the outside. He's got a friend behind him. I believe that's Mr. Salvage Jr. in Dustin Durr, right behind him up on the high side. He's fighting with foam up there.
Yeah, and one thing we got up here on this top side too is the 77 as the lead car again, and that did not work earlier. These guys are kind of stuck behind him and between a rock and a hard place.
Well, if that hard place is the outside wall, that's definitely not where you want to be. As looks like we got some shuffling out on the track.
Yeah, Jacob Adams pulled up here to the top, trying to get the push from Ethan Stanley with Dustin Dewar. Ooh, Dustin Dewar still blinking a little bit right there. You see the third lane starting to work. Three by three for the lead with the 77 in the middle, the 25 on the top. Or sorry, 52. I said 25. I meant 52. 37 on the bottom.
52 up here, like you mentioned. Dustin Durr's been asked just to fall out of the pack as his connection a little bit unsettled. Looks like it's sorted itself out a little bit. As I say that, never mind.
Yeah, typically those problems don't fix themselves.
Watching the 15 as well. He's been blinking off and on. We'll see if that issue continues for him.
As you can see, the 90 of Scott Crump has gotten up here behind his teammate Ethan Stanley now. And they're going to try to get Jacob Adams clear to drop down in front of one of these lanes, but so far they have not been able to accomplish that. And that top lane's getting quite a bit of help now. All of Lake Norman is up there behind Jacob Adams. We got
one on the bottom. Josh
Ethan
Adams.
Stanley. Where's Josh Adams?
He just fell out of the pack.
I'd say that's probably him being a little gun-shy with the way the week's gone.
Now, I'd say that's him being smart. There's guys that like to be aggressive early on and think that the race is won in the first stage. That's not going to happen. I think that's definitely a smart move by Josh to fall back in the pack, a little bit off the pack actually, and leave himself a gap in case he needs to jump to safety here. As we continue to be 3 wide for the lead, it's Ethan
3 wide for the
Burrell.
lead. This is 3 wide. What? 5
Well, we're
rows
3
deep?
wide for the lead. That's what we're talking about right now. Go ahead.
That's 15 cars right there on top of each other. 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, and then you got the guys. Got a little gap, and then you got the guys who are just riding around single file, waiting to see what happens. Dustin Dewar on back. Those guys are all sitting there like, what do I want to do here? And I really don't want to be in the middle of 3 wide. In my opinion, the worst position to be in these situations is right in the middle 3 and right in the middle of the pack. But I was going to say that was the 70, and the 70 is pulled forward as that outside line has kind of died out. 70's going to pull to the top, try to lead the top lane. We'll see if Jake Adams can give him a push there. William White pushing on the back of Ethan Burrell. You got the 77 getting pushed by the 12. And it looks like that third lane has kind of died out. Tyler Fody at the back of that pack right now. We got the legend of the Talladega car pulling up there. It's going to stay in the middle. I kind of thought Robin might pull out there to try to do a little something, but he did not. As they work by the slow 4 machine, who was pretty heavily damaged there earlier in the wreck. But that is just the first lap he has lost. Oh, nearly had a wreck there off of 4. Oh, nearly had a wreck here in the tri-oval, 37 twice. You still with us over there, Mr. Hill? They work down the backstretch here. 3x3. All of a sudden, here comes Jake Adams with the push from Josh Robin. You got the 77 leading the bottom lane. Jake is going to bail in that middle lane. He's going to come back to that middle lane, trying to play both sides of the street. Might be a little bit too early for that. As we are in the white flag for the stage here. They come off of turn 2, the front 3 single file. What's it going to take to win this stage? Jake pulls to the top. It's going to get a big push here from Josh Robin. It's going to be on the outside of the 70 as they work their way through the middle of 3 and 4. All this is a big battle here for the stage. The push on the top. Robin's going to pull out. Here they come for the stage, and it is going to be the 70, the 8, the 52, in that order, I believe. Jesse Racimus wins stage 1, Josh Robin, Jacob Adams, Ethan Stanley, Brandon Key, Dustin Dewar, Trey Eitzen, Scott Crump, Kian, and Tyler Fody round out the top 10, who all have earned stage points in stage 1. They work down here into turn 3 and 4, still racing really hard for this lead. Jake Adams pulls ahead here about turn number 1. Head down here off turn number 2. Still 3x3. A lot of guys have bailed out here, though. They know that the stage is over. Just a couple guys out there in that outside lane. Jake gets clear, pulls Dusty down, leaving him 3 wide for second for third just for a second. Coming down the front stretch, 3 clear on the bottom, 4 clear on the bottom. Ethan Stanley's going to pull to the top, trying to get the push by. It's going to have a big push here from the 68 machine. It's going to get a big push here from Kian. Dustin giving Jake a big push, with Jesse, Crump, and Fody also on the bottom. Here comes Ethan Stanley. And that is not a trick. I believe if Trading Paints is working on the broadcast at this point, you are seeing Ethan Stanley there in that Mark Martin throwback kind of inspired machine. Looks great. Ethan gets clear, drops to the bottom in front of Jake Adams. And here comes Kian. Big push here from the 41 machine of Brandon Key. They also are approaching a couple lap cars. Both those lap cars pull to the apron going down the backstretch. Looks like the top side's where you want to be. Big push there from Key. Gets Kian clear. Key gets clear. And here comes the 39. We saw this 39 machine spinning on the backstretch there a little bit ago. And oh, Key gets a little sideways. Oh, contact. I think are they going to be okay? I think they survived. Everyone just survived, I believe. Wow. Lots of contact, lots of moving and shaking. And what that's done has really split the field up. They work their way here down the front stretch. As the 39 machine takes the lead here. Just a small group out front. They work their way here down the front stretch. Side by side. Right now we have about 10 cars or so within a little gap. Everybody trying to get caught back up, but I'd say maybe 15 cars part of this lead draft. Everybody else is dropped way off here after that incident without a caution.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're about 15 cars, Chris, in this lead group.
Yeah, we lost you there for a minute, Mr. Hill. What
I was here. I was here. I was letting you do your thing. Carlos up there in second here, Chris.
Yeah, we got Carlos, good buddy Carlos up here. I'm not seeing a paint scheme on either one of these front two cars.
Yeah, Carlos has his blue scheme. I think he's got 3 wide TV on the side of that. The speed factor 39 at Chase Cabre out front. Kean Raleigh up there. There's Josh Robin as well.
You know who we still have up here too? Through all those incidents, we've still got Harry back there, and we still got Dusty as well in this lead group.
Yep, Key does his key stuff and goes around. Able to save that one. Key always finds his way into some bad luck on these super speedways.
Do you go ahead and pit here if you're Key? Put some fuel in it?
No.
I mean, you're already on pit, right?
I'm not sure. We'll see what he does.
He's just passing through. He's asked for a black cleared. But, I mean, he sped all the way down pit road there after he got in pit road. Taking a look at this pack back here, running double wide, that is being led by Ethan Burrell.
Yeah, taking a look here back to Ethan. He's got Nick Massey there with him. This is the second pack, and this is 15th on back, Chris. So these guys trying to gather their thoughts a little bit back here, see what they can do to work their way back up. You can see the 55 of Fuller working his way up on the high side. EJ O'Rourke coming pit side now. Actually, no, he doesn't. He just cuts it really low on the racetrack. We're down to 36 cars still in this one. We're watching out front, new leader Carlos Acosta with help from Scrumpy Scott Crump, the pusher there.
Yeah, and the second pack is running a little faster than the lead draft. Now, they are bigger by 2 cars. That doesn't make a difference. They both, I would say they're both around 15 cars. But the closer they get, the more of a tow they're going to get. And they've got... Something's happened to Harry. Harry's lost the lead draft somehow. So they're going to get a little bit of a sniff off of Harry here pretty soon, too.
Yeah, I don't know what they be sniffing from Harry, but we'll see. They'll get a little bit of a draft anyways, see what they can do to pull themselves back up with his help anyways. As you see, Jake Adams get shuffled back a little bit in that lead pack. Michael Hosick, Trey Eidson, Rory Collins up here in the 13th spot. He's now the tail car of group number 1 as we continue to swap the lead. It's Chase Cabry and, of course, Carlos Acosta. The pushers, Scott Crump and Kian Raleigh. These guys working well together. Burrell just noted 5 laps of fuel remain for him. So we'll see when he opts to come down pit road. That's got to be coming up in the next probably 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah, and that's big here because the field is strung out right now in 2 different packs. But green flags pit stops might help kind of orchestrate this thing to get back together, because when you leave pit road, you're not going to be able to be right on top of each other like you are before you come. And so that might string them out enough where they all kind of tow back together.
What'd you just say?
I'm not sure. What did I just say?
All good. We're watching Josh Robin here in the 11th position. He's falling back towards the tail of group number 1. Biggest mover so far, Carlos Acosta, up 37 positions. Great drive so far by Carlos.
Yeah.
As we continue to take a peek here at the front of the field, Acosta and Crump now your top 2. Chris, who's going to be the first to come down pit road? Obviously, Ethan Burrell mentioning that he's close to needing to enter pit road.
Well, I think we have a group of guys who have not pitted yet. And I think, Ethan's
We do have a handful, yes.
Ethan's probably going to be the first one to come, obviously. And that's going to be a disadvantage if nobody else is going to come around him, because the field got strung out, so he's going to need some help. I'd say the magic number is about 4 or 5 guys. If you can get 4 or 5 guys to pit together, you're going to be able to maintain lap time. Any less than that, and you're going to be struggling to find a shot to win this race if there's not another yellow. I know we have talked about the yellows tonight, and I'm on record as saying I thought they could do it caution-free. But with the field strung out, and we're about to have green flag stops, the odds of getting a yellow in a super speedway race greatly diminish with both of those factors coming into play. And here comes Trey Eidson by himself out of the front pack.
Like you mentioned, Eidson coming down solo. William White is another one I'd expect to come down pit road shortly. That just showed Johnny Thomas. That is not Johnny Thomas.
This is a terrible feeling for Trey. To pit by yourself at Daytona. I mean, definitely not what you want for sure, but we'll see anyways what happens with these guys. As Scott Crump, now your race leader, Kian Raleigh, took a little peek to the middle. Not going to do it, though. Just a little too risky as Eidson now exits pit road. I'd be watching William White here. I think he's going to come down here shortly. He's the next car not to have a pit stop yet. White and Norgard, the first 2, but I think Burrell is coming. Yes, he is. Burrell has come, and he is working his way down pit road with Tucker. That's still lonely right there. 2 cars is not much better than 1 car.
Yeah, you definitely want to come with more than just 2 people, but we'll see what happens with the rest of these guys. See if maybe we get a little bit more action next time they come around. As you see Crump and Dewar working together. That's Acosta and Cabre on the bottom. Who's going to be the next to come here, Chris?
I'm not sure, but I just want to point out that the second pack is dropped it down under 6 seconds.
William White's coming down. We have a group. Adams, looks like Raleigh, Norgard, and White all together. Is White going to go around?
And I believe he's going to hit the cone and get a penalty for that as well.
Billy Blanco does indeed hit the cone. No penalty as of yet for him. If he does, of course, it will be served as a pass-through next time by, but I believe he would have gotten it already.
It might be because of the way he hit the cone. All 4 of his tires were inside the cone. It was just the back end that was
in his
outside.
box really weird as well. As you can see, a couple more guys working their way down. We'll see White still sitting in his box here, Chris.
And this is great for the second pack. I'm going to tell you what, that second pack is going to make up big chunks right here. It's 5-7.
White may have gotten a penalty. It's just not showing up here as he's sitting in his box. But anyways, we'll go back to the front of the field. Go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, they're just, they got really discombobulated there. They've lost more cars than the second pack has, but they did just pick up Tooker and Burrell have gotten in this front pack, but they gave up a lot of time to get caught by that front pack. It's not ideal.
And William White does now leave pit road. Looks like he did serve a penalty in his box. Unfortunate for him. Looks like it's going to put him a lap down.
And you know what's helping these leaders? Look out in front of Scott Crump. All the cars that he gets to get some suck off of right here.
Yeah, definitely more options for suck here for Scott Crump. He can choose which lane that he wants to work with and get that draft. So definitely a positive for that 90 machine, but it also could be a double-edged sword as he has to navigate around the lap traffic as they're in the middle of opting to come down pit road. So we'll see if maybe this could be something that works to his advantage or disadvantage as the race goes on. But Crump and Dewar able to pull away just a little bit from Acosta now. Carlos has done a fantastic job putting himself in a good position here. 10 laps to go in stage number 2 as they go around that 07 machine of Jaden Racines. He is I thought he was the last of the Racines still in the race, but Jesse still running on the racetrack currently. So looks like he is A-okay as there's some communication on the racetrack trying to find out when they need to pit, who needs to go down, and when they can go down with each other here to avoid getting lapped. So we'll see what happens. That is Trey Eidson and Kean Raleigh, the last cars on the lead lap, just ahead as Gerald Campbell.
This is the most unique situation that I have seen play out in a speedway race in quite a long time.
Looks like Gerald Campbell has disappeared, and I do believe has exited the server, Chris. So Gerald Campbell, oh, he has reappeared.
What is your take on this situation that's played out here? Because like I just said, this is about the most unique situation I've seen play out in quite a long time.
To be fair, I don't think it's going to mean anything. I think we're going to get another caution or 2 or 5 that are going to come out here, and this is going to allow the group to re-rack and restack and get back together. As now what you're seeing here actually is Brandon Ultra comes down pit road. He is 4 laps down on the day. We'll see what comes into play for him, but what you're seeing now, that is Trey Eidson and Jesse Racines leading the inside lane, and they are lap cars. So the leaders using the lap cars to get their way around the racetrack. We'll see how this pays off for them, if it pays off for them, or if it leads to further chaos when they opt to go down to the bottom to go to pit road.
Yeah, we had that second pack got within about 5 seconds. And then they got to all these lap cars, and it really picked the pace of this front pack up, and they've pulled away 2 more seconds.
So watching Ethan Stanley and Josh Robin on the high side, I wouldn't want to be on their inside, if I'm honest with you. As Chad Frankenfield, he's going to come solo down pit road. Little solo visit to pit road for him.
Don't want to be solo.
Always more fun with some friends, that's for sure.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have a choice.
That is a fact, as here comes Ethan Stanley to the race lead. Help from Josh Robin, Chase Cabaret, and the 37 of Ethan Burrell. That's big money. E-Dog up on the high side. He's, of course, a winner at the super speedways before, as Jesse comes down pit road by himself.
And that's the second pit stop in the cycle for Jesse. Not sure what's going on. He had to have had an issue.
Yeah, not
Maybe
sure
he didn't get
there.
fuel.
Not sure there for Jesse, but he, of course, has come down by himself. As there he is, Nick Massey calling out that he is coming down pit road this time. Will he have any friends? I believe Trey Eidson. No, that would definitely not be Trey Eidson calling a pit. Not sure what his issue is, but
Scott Crump, our race leader right here, is coming.
Scrumpy gonna head pit side this time with nobody.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, there's cars all around this racetrack, so.
Wow. Nick Massey, the next car to come down pit road. We'll see if maybe these guys can time it so they do have a friend exiting pit road. Of course, Lake Norman Motorsports teammates. As you can see, the leaders battling side by side. Actually, I say that, and that's the 37 of Ethan Burrell getting back on the lead lap.
Yeah, this is the wildest thing. You know, we got a lot of guys here.
Ooh, we
just
nearly
had
had an incident there. Harry Talon all over the racetrack. He was looking like he was popping like some popcorn as there goes Chad.
And is Hunter Smith a teammate for Chad?
Yep. We will back this up, take a look, and see what just happened to Chad Frankenfield. That may have been his teammate.
You know who that was a break for? Nick Massey was coming off pit road. He's going to get to go around these guys.
Let's take a look here. Does Chad actually come up? That one's tough, Chris.
Man, I think the 54 kind of just drove into his right rear, to be honest. Not ideal.
The 54 does hook his teammate right there. It's unfortunate for those boys, but
Is this the end of the stage? We need to know now. I mean, if I just shut up for a second, what lap is the leader on right now?
Chris, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll take you through the middle stages of today's race.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
All right, welcome back here as we are wrapping up this caution here. The stage did end right there, by the way. I do not have the stage results in front of me. I did not see them. My bad. I dropped the ball on that. But Scott Crump pitted under green, so he chose to stay out here, obviously. Josh Robbins out here. We got Dusty. We got the 39 machine, Chase Cabre, Ethan Stanley. Some guys did get back on the lead lap here. Brandon Key, Trey Eitzen, Kean Raleigh, Jacob Adams, and Leighton Norgard were able to get their laps back. And then, so track to lap down are Jesse Racimus, David Tooker, Chad Frankenfield, and William White are the guys who ended up trapped there. Well, actually, I think William's waving around from 2 down. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Well,
nonetheless, we're re-racked and we have 29 on the lead lap.
we're re-racked, we're restacked. We'll see what we can do when we go back to Green Flag Racing. Shout out to Dave Huckleberry. He's hanging out with us in the chat tonight. Hello, Dave. Hope you're having a good night. I decided the commercial break was a good time to eat some Carolina Reaper peanuts, so my mouth is on fire right now, Dave. So, if you want to send a fire extinguisher up here, please feel free. As we get set to go green once again, Scott Crump, Josh Robin on the front row. Let's see what they can do. Chris, it's time to go.
Yeah, can we just say we gave those Lake Norman boys a hard time about their paint schemes last year? But they look good. The 90 looks great. You know, we got the Mark Martin throwback on Stanley. Fody's got him a new car. Great job, great new paint schemes for their.
Shout out John Cutlip. John Cutlip, their painter. As Scott Crump gets out to a good jump here ahead of Josh Robin on the high side. I thought there might have been a little bit of teamwork to go down on that restart, but one thing to note here, that's a pretty decent sized gap between Cabre and Hasek, as well as Stanley and Acosta on the inside. So this could come into play here as these guys get a run back up towards that lead group. We thought there might have been some penalties to come out on the restart, but no, we're good.
Yeah, and we talked about Josh Robin. They're driving that Dale Jr. car, Dale Jr. Paint scheme. The second best plate racer of the last 25 or 30 years. We got
after Tyler Fody, of course.
We got the Jeff Gordon throwback on the 13 machine there, the old Nicorette car. That's the best plate racer of the last 25 or 30 years. And I don't want to hear any argument otherwise.
Dave's giving me heck for eating peanuts before we came back live, Chris. I need a snack, bro.
Peanuts are great, but why you gotta get them so hot? You know, you just get some good peanuts.
Man, I decided that I wanted to act like a manly man today and get some heat in me. That heat didn't work because it's hot. As you see Hasek up on the high side, he's got Tyler Fody behind him. Hopefully next week the Toyota paints will show up for us. I hate it because some of these guys have really, really nice paints, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not having any issues. Maybe I just got lucky.
I think it was my fault. The issue was just before we hit the grid, EGR Works paint wasn't properly showing up, so I just thought,
Oh, we got a wreck.
Harry just died. Wow.
Are we wrecking up in front of this too after the caution is out? Yes, we are. Kyle Henshaw is around under caution.
Let's take a look, see what just happened to Harry. I think he hooks himself off of Trey Eidson.
Ooh, they stacked up in front of Harry.
Ugh. That is tough right there for those guys, man.
Just a big stack up, and then both of them are in the wall, and somehow
They're in the hall. I don't think that led them to the Hall of Fame right there. That's for sure. You said Hanshaw also getting hand-sawed. Let's see what just happened to him.
Okay, so it was part of he went down to the apron to miss the wreck.
Oh, he's fine, Chris. Look at this guy out here inducing panic.
Hey, I just heard squealing tires after the caution was out, and I had to go take a look.
Unfortunate for those guys. Harry was trying his best. Let's see if there's someone we can talk to. Maybe have a word. Is Goody in this race still, Chris?
He is.
Well, that's who we're talking to, big dog.
I don't see him in here. I don't think we can talk to him.
Michael Goodman, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
You're still alive. How'd you manage that?
I don't know. I don't know if you want to ask Gerald or Carpenter. I got in the back of them a couple of these wrecks, and good thing we're still in one piece here. So, yeah, we'll keep dodging wrecks. We're getting closer to the front. Maybe that's the safe spot to be. I don't know.
Well, looks like you're going to be up into the 11th position or so, setting yourself up with still a long way to go. This is a long race. What's kind of been the challenge so far for you? Is it just dodging all those wrecks, or just trying to stay focused with the cautions that we've had, even though this is only number 4?
Yeah, I think it's mostly just dodging the wrecks. I mean, it's weird. It does feel like there's been more than 4, but when they happen, they seem to be decent amount of cars, at least maybe not damage-wise, but going around trying to dodge. So just trying to mind the P's and Q's right now and keep the car somewhat clean here and be around at the end and either maybe probably destroy it or bring the checkered home.
Chris, you got anything here for Goody?
Well, I heard you say there, Goody, that the front was a safe place to be. I just want to point out that the leader got churned to initiate the first big wreck of the night.
Yeah, well, wasn't the wreck just now in the back? There probably isn't a safe spot out here tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere safe. It's just about being able to dodge it, right? But, I mean, you don't even have to dodge it. Didn't you flip over here in the Cup race last year and still finish in the top 10?
Yeah. Actually, I did. I was.
You barrel rolled, actually.
Barrel rolled, yeah. And even I think Ryan Gavel was crab walking a little bit too, and he ended up running the top 10 for a while there as well after that. So, you can get a little bit of damage and still get it fixed and get a good run.
So essentially, what you're saying is you either got a barrel roll or get a case of the crabs, and you can make yourself up into the top 10.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I guess a crab walk, not the,
I feel like you're with a good group right now, though, right? You got Fody right in front of you, then you got Adams, you got Massey right behind you, then you got the Jeff Gordon throwback scheme right in front. You're in a good spot, right? And you're in a safe spot.
I like the guys that we got around us right now. I think that's probably the big thing right now is surrounding yourself with guys you kind of trust, and Adams, Fody, Massey, Weeks. Those are the guys I think who are hold a pretty steady wheel, probably steadier than I do. So they're probably nervous, but I feel pretty good.
And I will say that Fody was also the reason that first wreck happened when the leader got churned. So I mean,
yeah,
don't get too comfortable with it.
Yeah, right. Well,
ask Johnny about that.
I'm sure. Yeah, I did hear about the contact. I think Jeff Green was involved in that wreck. He was bringing that up.
Well, Goody, we're about to get going again. We better get you down there, get you set for this restart. Best of luck to you.
All right, watch the show. It should be a good one.
Hey, tell us about Miss Goodies Goodies.
Yeah,
Anything
tell
going on?
us how good Mrs. Goodies is.
Mrs. Goodies Goodies is the best towels there is right now. I mean, if you order one now on Facebook, just type Miss Goodies Goodies. You can order a towel. She's in Jamaica right now until next Saturday, so there might be a little bit of a delay. But yeah, go check them out. You get a nice character towel. Always fun. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, best of luck to you, Goody.
All right,
That's the
thanks.
best way to end the interview ever. That's it. I'm done. That's all I got.
Just gonna make some Jamaican bobsled towels. As we come back, Scott Crump, Josh Robin on the front row here, Chris.
Yeah, Scott Crump's still up there. Josh Robin, that's teammates. They got Ethan. Somehow all of Lake Norman has survived tonight, I believe. Lots of big wrecks all over the place, but Lake Norman still got all their bullets in the chamber.
As we get set to go green once again, Scott Crump gonna find the loud pedal here, Chris. And we are back underway. Here we go.
Another big push from Dustin Dewar.
Yeah, he's got that JD's Hilltop salvage power underneath him. Of course, the Goodrich Scrap Metal Authority.
Oh, we're talking good about him, and he misses a shift, I think.
Goody! No, not Goody. Dewar! Oh, we got some Ethan Hill.
Just a big stack up.
Scott
Ethan
Crump
Stanley.
continues to lead.
Ethan Burrell. Ethan Stanley, Ethan Burrell, both heavy damage. Lots of conversation about a yellow, but it stayed green, and we're well past now. Time to move on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's the rule that we've been given, is that we can't throw yellow. We gotta let iRacing do it unless the track is completely blocked.
And let me just say, it's easy to say you agree with something when it works. Right here in the situation where a lot of people are calling for it, I agree with the rule. I like the rule of not throwing manual yellows. I am part of some leagues where they do throw some manual yellows. I don't like it because it's a judgment call, and a lot of things I feel like don't need to be thrown. So I like the fact of letting the sim do its job. It's not always perfect, and it can be frustrating like it is right here, but it's constant, and I like that. I like that rule.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate when you're involved in it and it doesn't bring out a yellow. It's just the way it goes. And apparently Chad's saying now that it's our decision if we want to call yellow, but it is what it is. That's not the rule that we're told.
I like the decision that I believe you're the admin tonight, but I like the decision of letting it play out. As we are racing hard here for the lead. Side by side up here at the front, the Matthew Weeks, Josh Adams, Hunter Smith, that whole group, back to Michael Goodman, got back up here to this front group.
So we've been asked to go back and look at the incident that happened there.
I thought it looked like the 32 missed a shift, but I'm not sure.
We'll see what happened. Ooh.
What you see there, Robert?
So Stanley actually disappears, and I think that's what leads to it.
Yeah, there was a yeah. Stanley disappears a little bit, and I think that's what upset the 32. It just looked weird because Stanley was coming in and out. That's what it was. I apologize to Dustin Dewar and everybody over there at Hilltop Storage. As Josh Robin takes the lead. Scott Crump pushing on the back of Josh Robin.
As somebody's flipping out.
Yeah, they're frustrated. I believe there was another wreck somewhere.
Anyways, Josh Robin, Chase Cabery leading the pack here. Scott Crump, Tyler Fode side by side, just behind them.
There was another wreck here on lap 71 coming to 72 as they came to the trial. Brandon Key moves down into Key and Raleigh. Then they try to blend back. The 02, the 71, contact. 25 is involved down there.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that one.
That was easily not a caution as they all were on the apron well off the racetrack. Lots of craziness.
That one, the 41 of Key comes down into the 68 of Raleigh. And then looks like the 02 of Acosta and the 71 of Carpenter come together. Carpenter moves up to avoid Raleigh and hits Acosta. It just all been domino effect reactions. That's all that's happening in the field, Chris, is people reacting to other stuff and hitting each other. Everyone was off the racetrack, so...
Yeah, I will say though that one, that's what started that one was clearly Key moving down.
But it didn't lead to the issue.
As right now the field works their way by Ethan Stanley. I gotta apologize to Lake Norman. I said they had all their bullets in the chamber, then they took off on that restart, and Ethan Stanley's got a substantial amount of damage on his machine now. I believe the 4 car is looking for a black, as he has now went 6 laps down. And that 6 lap down rule is in effect tonight. I will say this, the wreck might happen back around Gerald Campbell and that group. They are pushing really hard trying to make time up, and typically that is not a good thing to be having happen there. Jacob Adams about to lose a lap. I think he's okay, no damage to his car. I think he just checked up when all of the calamity took place. Oh yeah, that car's coming up to speed. That's going to force him to stay 3 wide right here for a minute.
Anyways, Crump does continue to lead over Josh Robin and Tyler Fode up on the high side. Dustin Dewar and Chase Cabery working together well on the inside. And Michael Hossack again, 3rd place finisher last night in the Truck Series race here at Daytona. Raymond Hanneman, the winner of that one. Chris, do you even know who the heck that is? I don't think so.
I do not, but I am hoping that what we've seen last night, what we see tonight, does not carry over into I want a clean race on Wednesday. I do not want 500 miles of lots of wrecks and carnage.
I think the biggest issue we've seen, Chris, honestly, is drivers just not necessarily giving each other respect or thinking out their moves. they're just not necessarily being smart about what they're doing and just having too much attitude out there on the racetrack, which is what's leading to a lot of the issues.
Yeah, you got to have some give and take, especially, to start the season. All these races are full distance. This is full distance Xfinity. It's full distance for trucks. It's going to be full distance in Cup, and it's like, let's be patient just a little bit. Let's just take our time just a little bit. And I think, you got ARCA tomorrow too, right?
Yes, we do. Tomorrow night we're at Daytona as well. You see EJ O'Rourke still out on the racetrack.
What are these lappers doing? That is ridiculous on the 68 right there. We were just talking about how you got to have respect and give and take. That was zero respect from the 68 machine. There's no place for that out here on the racetrack. I am sorry. I know people might not like me giving my opinion here from the booth, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Chris, we're going to step away real quick. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And welcome back. The field is kind of strung out. Everything got worked through there after that quick commercial break. We are inside the final pit window. Everybody's going to pit one more time. The question is, when? When do they pit? Right now, we've got the field split up again. We've got 13 cars out front. Then we have Josh Adams lost the draft, and he's running by him. No, he's running with a pack of lappers, maybe? Oh, Josh has got substantial damage on the back of his car there. That's it's a race pick in here for one of us. I won't say which one, but that car looks like it's got some heavy damage to the back of it. Got the 77 trying to lead that group there back into this race from about 14th to 18th. Then you got Kyle Hanshaw, Ethan Burrell, Gerald Campbell, Chad Frankenfield, Joshua Personette, and a few lappers about 20 seconds off of the lead. Trying to run in the line, push hard, make something happen. Up here at the front, though, Jacob Adams trying to race with these boys. He is a lap down, did get lapped here during this run, but no damage on that machine. And getting a big push from Tyler Fody right now. As Fody's trying to use that lap car to take the lead.
Chris, I want to shout out Mark Murphy. Just for the hell of it. Shout out to you, Mark Murphy. As these guys continue to battle for position, it's Jake Adams on the high side, and Jake is the last car on the lead lap. And he is leading this top lane by himself. Well, not by himself,
Now
but
he's
he
the
is
first
leading the
car
high
a
lane
lap
here.
down.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he is. Look at that. Look at how quick stuff happens out here.
Yeah. Here in just a second, he might be the last car on the lead lap again. Should we call it out every time?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now Josh Personette, last car on the lead lap here.
Ooh, Josh Robin, very
that got
indecisive.
He was almost the first car on the wrecker right there.
Yeah, that's a good thing there was a teammate in there behind Jake. You know, Fody bailed on Jake there to go with his teammate. Robin, you'd like to see him maybe be a little bit more decisive and get out there a little sooner than when, you know, they're side by side already. Jake's going to find him a hole right there in front of Nick Massey. I think Nick lifted there, did not want to be 4 wide passing a really slow car through the middle of 1 and 2. I think that's what I seen. Is that what you seen?
That's what I seen, Chris.
Somebody out there, mark it down, showing some patience and not being 110% balls to the wall.
Well, at least there's one tonight, as Josh Robin, Chase Cabaret, Tyler Fody, Scott Crump, and Tyler Pop the top 5. Nick Massey, Matthew Weeks, Michael Hosick, Dustin Dewar, and Michael Goodman, the top 10. We just talked to Goody. Now he's up here rocking it out in the top 10. We got a battle of the Michaels brewing here, Chris. Michael Hosick, Michael Goodman. Let's see who can get it done out of those guys.
And I'm gonna tell you that second pack, I think they're close enough to get a little bit of a suck. Trey Eitzen leading that second group. I think they're gonna get there.
They're gonna get some suck here
run
off of the Rory Collins machine and be able to pull up towards the tail of that pack. Rory acting as a little bit of a buffer between the two groups.
They're gonna run the fastest lap of the race right here.
They very
here is
well
gonna be fast.
might. I don't know. I think if any of them is going to run the quickest time, it might be David Tooker. Because he might get that pull off of those guys.
And here comes Tyler Pop.
You were exactly right, by the way. They just put the quickest time of the race in the books as Tyler Pop goes to the lead up on the high side with help from Chase Cabaret and Jacob Adams.
Yeah, got to take that Jeff Gordon kind of inspired machine right to the front here, just like Jeff would. Probably should have dropped down in front of Tyler Fody.
34 to go. Chris coming to 33 this time. Looking forward to seeing the end of this one. Who can get it done? Who's not going to hate each other as we head out of Speed Weeks?
I think if there's one thing we know, they might unite and just hate the admin of the race tonight.
Oh, yeah. 100%. That's okay. That's okay. As we continue on. Shout out Dustin Durr up here in the top 10. Let's give a full shout out here to JD's Hilltop Salvage. James Dewar is Goodrich's scrap metal authority with over 50 years of experience in an ever-changing industry. JD is the guy you want to call to get rid of your old junk, from washing machines that no longer work to decommissioned Boeing 747s, Chris. Set on top of the beautiful Goodrich Hill, JD's Hilltop Salvage is your go-to place with no job being too big or too small. Of course, our friends at Blue Egg. I do too. We've always asked for it. We just never got it. Shout out to the boys at Blue Egg Marketing as well. Blue Egg, the marketing department for small businesses, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And right now, Tyler Fody's a big fan of Josh Robin on the inside lane.
And Scott Crump. That's Lake Norman.
Yeah, Lake Norman. Actually, Nick Massey there as well. Actually, he's on the high side. He's helping the other guys out. Nick Massey being the outlier of Lake Norman. He's swimming in River Norman instead today.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be the last guy in the Lake Norman line.
No.
Be 4th or 5th on the bottom.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's working with Dusty Dewar, Jake Adams, those boys.
I think we are approaching our last pit stop too here at some point.
You know who's probably having a good night tonight?
Not us.
I don't know. Mark Rebilas. He's probably out there, went off and took some pictures or something as he didn't make the race tonight. But shout out Rebilas Photography, rebilasphoto.com for all your photography needs.
Yeah. Mark's always
Presenting
somewhere taking
partner
pictures.
of this series.
And he was actually here tonight. I try to reach out when I think about it. You know, sometimes I don't think about it. I try to reach out and see what he's going to be doing. I'm sure that, and I'll ask him to get confirmation next week. I'm sure he's going to be at the Daytona 500 taking pictures. Maybe if he needs a hand, I'll help him take some pictures down there in Daytona 500. I'll be down there, and so will the Adams boys. As Jake gets aggressive here, he's going to shuffle Cobb right to the top. I think Nick is going to go with him. Dustin's probably going to follow along.
This is going to get interesting because we have a lap car up ahead of them there. I thought that was Carlos. Is that Seth Rawls? Yes, it is. The Rocky Man, Seth Rawls, currently just ahead of our race leader, Tyler Fode. 30 to go this time.
Oh, and this is a big pass here. Seth gets his pass. He will be 6 laps down.
That is very, very true.
And man, that I've been there before. You're hoping for a yellow right before they get to you.
Seth Rawls advised to report to pit road. He asked if it was a glitch, Chris, and unfortunately 2 + 2 = 4, and -6 means you're out the door.
Yeah. Frustrating nonetheless. I've been there.
As he's gonna pull it pit side.
It's not fun.
No, definitely not a good time when you end up having to go out of the race due to the quote-unquote caution clock of sorts. I want to shout out somebody up here that we haven't really talked about tonight that's having him...
Hunter Smith.
Okay, we're not going to do that then. Hunter Smith rejoins the field.
God, did he get hit? It looked like he just turned left.
Yeah, I think he just got a little bit knocked out of the way. He's able to continue on, though, get right back in the pack, so really no harm done there for the 54 of Hunter Smith. I want to shout out Scott Haney real quick. Scott's running back here in the 15th position. Still out there, car looking pretty clean. We'll see if he's able to maybe compete for the victory in about 26 or so laps, 27 laps. We'll see if old Scott Haney can get up there. And, of course, he is the connection. Yes. So Scott gave up the 3 car, I believe, to Vincent Isabella. Vince is not here tonight, but I believe he gave the 3 up to Vince across the board. I may be wrong on that, and maybe Scott just opted to go with the 17 in this series because he's running the 17 in the Cup Series as well. So we'll see. Another lap car coming up here, Chris. And I think he's going to stay on the racetrack. That is the 92 of Ethan Stanley. Yes, it is.
That puts him 3 down.
Next one at risk of going out of the race due to being laps down is Brandon Ultra. And he still has 2 laps remaining on... 2 laps remaining as a buffer, so we'll see what he can do.
He's running in a draft pack right now. He's not losing time. Like, I think the slowest car that's on the racetrack right now might be Ethan Stanley. Excuse me, Ethan Stanley.
Well, slowest car, probably the pace car, because he's sitting on pit road, not moving.
You got me there.
Got you. 25 to go, sponsored by Credit 25 Bank. It's Tyler Fode and Josh Robin leading the race. That's Tyler Popp on the high side with Jacob Adams behind him. Adams, of course, the first car, 1 lap down. Shout out to him making his elite return. This was a late entry out of the Mountain Man camp. Teammate Kynan Jones did not make the event tonight, unfortunately, but will definitely be back for round number 2. Hearing some communications all throughout the field. David Tooker letting Chase Cabre into the field. He should be heading down to Daytona soon. Chris, when are you headed to Daytona? You mentioned you were going to be going down there for the 500.
I'll be heading down the Sunday before.
All right.
We're going to be down there all the speed weeks. We're going down to Charlotte for a day. Going to go through some race shops. It should be fun.
Nice.
I am getting word, though, that some of these boys are about 5 laps away from pitting.
5 laps.
So we're getting
Nick
close.
Massey working his way to the bottom, trying to line up with his Lake Norman boys.
I think Jake Adams is going to need to get down there because I believe that's the crew chief I just had a discussion with right there was the pit box of the 52 machine. And he's got about 5 laps of fuel left. I'm not sure how his pit window works out with everybody else's, but everybody's going to pit once, so it probably won't be hard to find friends to pit with.
So Seth Rawls was saying that he ended up having 1.5 minutes of damage, and it put him about 30 miles per hour off the pace. That is hefty. The Rocket Man, I believe, got rocket boosted right into the ground. So unfortunate there for Seth Rawls. That's what took him out of tonight's event. Now, obviously, like you mentioned, we are coming up on pit stops, and just about everybody did pit around the same time on the racetrack, lap 58. So we should be getting close to everyone coming down, and we may see a large chunk of them coming together down pit road as we are getting closer to 20 to go. We'll see what happens here, Chris.
Yeah, we'll see. Some of these guys I think are really close to having to make a pit stop. I'm not sure who's going to come with Jake here, but I know he's one that's really close. We are, like you said, 21 to go here.
I do like that it seems to have cleaned up a little bit over the last handful of laps, but we'll see as we come up on the lap car of Carlos Acosta. He's going to be on the inside as the leaders do go by. Looks like we're going to get by him A-OK. Nearly contact, actually, with his 3 Wide Racing television colleague, Michael Goodman. That wouldn't have been too good for those boys. Now, Chris, say you are Tyler Popp right now. Who do you want to be your pusher behind you?
Man, I don't know. Somebody you trust.
You can pick anybody in the field, someone that already is out, or any of the guys still on the track.
I'd want it to be one of my friends. I'd want it to be somebody I trust, somebody that I've worked with. So if you're asking me my pick of the litter, I'm taking Nick Massey, Josh, Jake Adams. Like, those are the guys that, when push came to shove, those are the guys that I've worked with for years and years and are some of my real-life friends, and I fully 100% trust them. So you got to ask yourself, who does Tyler trust? And that's who he's going to want to work with, is somebody that he has full confidence in.
I think at this point, most of his affiliates are out.
Here comes Lake Norman.
Lake Norman diving in. The 4 of them going to come together. Somebody else also came down pit road. Looked like a white car. Not sure who that one was. But somebody also came down pit road with the Lake Norman boys. As we do see Dustin Duer leading the way. Somebody's coming in. I think it might be Chad. Rory Collins just pit. He's going to go a lap down.
I think a bunch of guys are coming this time right here.
I think this lead pack's coming. Chase Cabre gonna go down.
Oh, they're wrecking. Hosick, Weeks. Hosick really struggling out here on the racetrack.
Let's take a look and see what just happened.
Lots of cars on pit road right there. I think a lot of this front group is coming right here. Yeah, here they come.
Oh,
Scott Haney.
That's Haney.
Hooey.
That was not a good pit stop for Do Good. I want to back this up and see what happened with Matthew
Oh, Reckon
Weeks.
getting into 3. The 39,
Maybe we
the
won't.
77. Oh, wow. No caution again, but the whole inside line just unreal.
Oof.
And I think this is set up pretty well for Lake Norman.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this cycles out. It looks like Fody and his friends are going to be A-okay.
Yeah, as it sits, we got Ethan Burrell and his group still out here running. Then you've got the 4 Lake Norman cars. Jake Adams, and they are all split up behind him.
Just taking a look at the Michael Hosick incident. Doesn't look like it was that one. We're going to have to look at it later. There's only so much that we can do at one point. Burrell, Campbell, Henshaw, and Frankenfield, the last of the cars to stay out on the track.
Yeah, and I think they're discussing coming to pit road here pretty soon. Yeah, I think that whole group is coming right here. They have reached the end of their fuel.
Burrell, Campbell, Henshaw, Frankenfield going to come this time. Burrell going very deep. He does make it. Nearly contact there with those guys, but everyone able to make it down pit road. Here comes Fody, and his group looks like they're going to take the lead with just 13 to go at the line.
Yeah, that Lake Norman pitting first, getting 4 guys coordinated in and out. Definitely the call. Definitely the move of the race. And, you know, Tyler told me pre-race they were pretty confident. Got to be a little disappointed that he didn't end up getting a shot, you know, to continue that pole. But they've got a shot to win the race. Now, one thing that is happening as well right here is Jacob Adams is bringing Dustin Dewar and Brandon Key back to these guys. Because they've got the tow there. And that's big for Jake to stay with this front group because him being a lap car, that way he can stay in that lucky dog position. I got to think Jake. Yeah, Jake's just going to pull out to the top of these Lake Norman guys. Try to surge his way to the front. And I will say this, they are very much working together behind him as well. I think Justin Fuller, group with him, and who else is in that group back there?
Here comes Dewar. Jacob Adams has done a phenomenal job helping these guys out.
Yeah, his car wasn't hurt. He just got, you know.
Carlos Acosta going to stay on the inside lane. That got a little sketchy right there.
Yeah, Jake Adams leads this lane here with help from Dusty and Brandon Key.
They got to be careful that these bumps don't go the wrong way, though, and send someone around. Jesse Racines has just come down pit road by himself.
But Fuller, Pop, Chase, Hunter Smith, Goody, those guys are all still close enough. And if they could stay coordinated, but this front group getting a little bigger has helped their lap time. We'll see what happens. It will be close, just 11 to go.
Coming around next time will be 10 laps to go. It's Tyler Fody, Dustin Dewar, Josh Robin, Brandon Key, Scott Crump, and Nick Massey in this front group with the lap car of Jacob Adams right there with them. And the gap behind is 3 seconds now. Justin Fuller leading that group. He's got Tyler Pop, Chase Cabaret, Hunter Smith, and Michael Goodman there with them. David Tooker, part of that group as well.
And Jake gets to the bottom side in front of Fody. Fody pulls back. I'm surprised Fody didn't sit there for a minute and push him, knowing that 52 is not a lead lap car.
Ooh, nearly contact from the Dustin Dewar machine. 10 to go this time as they just crossed the start-finish line. It's Fody on the high side now with Dewar. Stuck on the inside is Robin and Crump behind the lap car of Jake Adams. Dustin Dewar taking a peek to the outside. Little contact there between David Tooker and Michael Goodman. They're going to lose that group ahead of them.
Yeah, and Fuller in that group, I believe, has kind of started just breaking even.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for them because they did lose 2 cars from that group in Tooker and Goodman. So that unfortunately is going to scrub a little bit of momentum, but they are gaining once again, just about 2 seconds back. Justin Fuller leads that group with Tyler Pop behind him. They do have a gap between those two, as it looks like group number 2 kind of splitting just a little bit.
Yeah, one thing that's going to hurt the second group is now they're starting to get a toe off some lap cars. That first group is. So that's going to speed that pace up a little bit.
If it stays green, they still have enough time as Josh Robin and Jake Adams go to the top.
Jake trying to stay out there.
Adams might be the thorn in their side at this point, though, Chris.
Yeah, he's just trying to make sure he keeps himself in that lucky dog, because now they've gotten to some guys who, oh, Jake pulls out, gets sideways.
There's Jake.
Jake's just trying to keep himself in position to get that lucky dog. And Fuller,
they've arrived.
With the 13, they did get there. Nick Massey goes down there with Jake Adams.
Dewar nearly comes down to block. Here comes Fuller and Pop and company just behind, coming around 7 to go this time. I don't think we make it to the checker flag without another caution here, Chris, just with the way that this is about to go as Fuller takes his group to the high lane. We are 3 wide. That's Crump and Dewar in the middle. Fuller and Pop to the high side. Nearly contact between Key and Cabaret towards the tail of that first group. Scott Crump, Josh Robin, Tyler Fody leading. Coming to 6 this time. Will Fuller get there? Will they make it back with just 6 and a bit to go? This is going to be tight.
Oh, Dewar pulls out on Fody. Fody throws a block. Dewar pulls back to the middle.
Oh,
Crump pulls all the way up to throw a block. Checks up the
Fuller's
whole line.
still up top. Fuller with Pop. They're going to the high side. Let's see what they can do. Robin and Crump leading the way at the front. The pushers, Jake Adams, Tyler Fody. No Franklin Fody tonight, not here. Of course, the superior of the two Fodys.
Well, without Frank, you don't have Tyler, right?
That's right. Josh Robin will lead the field to 5 laps to go. A full hand of fingers up in the air. Actually, make that Scott Crump leading at the line with just 5 laps to go. Right now, Chris, take a look at this group. Who is in the best position if they stay alive to win this race?
I have no idea. That's like impossible to predict. I guess the guy out front right now.
I'm going to say
not
Brandon
sure.
Key. Brandon Key and Nick Massey, if I'm honest with you. Because of the way this usually goes, you're going to get down to the tail of it. They're all going to stack up. And one of those guys keeping their car clean is going to be able to make that move. As there goes
Dewar.
Dusty.
Not going to get a caution.
All right, so that's the end of that. They're going to have to send that car to JD's Hilltop Salvage. Crump goes up ahead of Fody. He's going to block just behind them. That is the 39 of Chase Cabre. He's going to try to get his way to the front of this pack. Josh Robin on the inside with Jacob Adams. See what happens here. Tyler Pop down to the inside. He's going to try to get a run up to the rear end of Josh Robin. We'll see what they can do. Coming to 3 to go. Top 3, Crump, Fody, Cabre. That is the top 3 as they run. Things are getting a little bit funky once again as the lap car of Jake Adams coming into play. These guys are going to try to shuffle him out and battle it out amongst themselves here as Dustin Dewar hits pit road, I do believe. Yes, he will.
I'm confused why everybody wants to shuffle Jake here. When I see a lap car, that's a guy I want to work with because that's a guy who can't beat me at the end. You know, I'm really surprised to see these guys not.
I mean, if I'm behind him, I want him out of the way because I want to battle it out with these guys for the win.
Yeah, I guess, but like that's a car that can't beat you.
I love the aggression and the strategy of Jake Adams, ensuring that he is the lucky dog should a caution come out, as typically they do. That got a little
Chase
wild.
throwing a block there. Or Fody throwing a block on Chase. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't really block from behind, but we'll try anyways. 2 to go this time. Scott Crump, Tyler Fody. Here comes Josh Robin as Crump goes up to block. Robin has Tyler Pop behind him. The pusher for Chase Cabre on the high side is Jacob Adams. We'll see how this one pays off. Brandon Key, he's going to choose which door he wants to unlock. He's working his way to the inside on the bottom. Nick Massey trying to play it safe. He's going to run just a little bit off that lead pack. Maybe he can hook up here with the car that finds itself just behind him. That white machine. Not sure who that one is. That is the 07 of Jaden Racimus.
Here we go. Lake Norman's in control of both of these lanes. Does anybody have anything to do with it? Do they try to keep themselves side by side? Right now, the 13 not really pushing the 8.
I think Nick Massey has played it too safe and has taken himself right out of this one. Unless they do wreck. But here they come through 3 and 4 for the final time. Dustin Dewar nearly slides up into the field. It's Josh Robin, Tyler Pop, and Scott Crump battling it out for the win. Here we come to the line. Who's going to get it?
This is the white flag.
No, it's not. Checkered flag. Josh Robin takes the win. It's Robin, Crump, and Cabre, the top three, Chris.
I thought that was the white.
That was not the white. It was white with some checkers on it. Top five: Josh Robin, Scott Crump, Chase Cabre, Tyler Pop, Tyler Fody. Rest of the top 10: Brandon Key, Nick Massey, Justin Fuller, Michael Goodman, Hunter Smith. We're going to step away real quick and try to get our podium finishers in for a quick word. Josh Robin, your winner in the JD's Hilltop Salvage 300. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And welcome back here to Daytona, where we have caught up with our second place finisher. Scott, just like Tyler told me pre-race, man, you guys at Lake Norman were going to win the race. Well, not just like he said, you were going to win the pole too, and he fell short there, all the way back to second place there for Tyler Fody at the start. But take us through the race. Ultimately, it looked like here you guys all pitting there, starting that last pit stop first, put you out there to have a good shot to win. So take us through your night, and ultimately, what more you needed to win the thing at the end.
I didn't have the best cue, so I started mid-pack, and I don't know, like early on, it was just double wide. You couldn't go anywhere. So it was just pretty much a stalemate. And then I dropped back with Nick because it got a little crazy right before the first stage. It was like 3 wide. And then that big wreck happened, stayed out, got some stage points there. And then pitted. As soon as I came out the pits, the caution came out. So I had to go around twice. So that put me a little short. 2 laps shorter than everybody else, and lucky enough, I had 3 teammates with me to pit with me, so we were able to come out together and put a full steam and just about pull away from everybody. We probably needed one more car to pull away from the pack. But yeah, other than that, it was just management. Just trying to place myself in the right position. Thought I did, and just middle line just didn't have the momentum right there coming off for 4. So yeah, it was a great race for Lake Norman. So we almost swept it. That would have been nice.
Yeah, no. What's the outlook on the rest of the season here? Got good points out of Daytona. Obviously, had a shot to win that race or this race. So, what's the outlook on the rest of the season and chasing a championship?
Uh, Hopefully I can defend my title. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good start here. Definitely, Daytona is usually ones where I end up wrecked somewhere close to the end or whatever, where I'm fighting for the front. But yeah, just happy to come out here for second place finish, and I think it's like my third second place photo finish at a super speedway. Maybe Wednesday I can be on the right end of it.
I take you finishing second to me on Wednesday. I mean, what about that deal? Is that a good deal?
No, I want to win that one.
Well, all right, Scott. Before we let you jump out of here and celebrate with the rest of your team, who helps get you on the racetrack every week?
I'd like to give a shout out to Blue Egg Marketing. They hopped on board with me this year, and Stay Tuned Sports Podcast still in the car. Get a shout out to y'all in the broadcast booth. Chad putting on the league. JD Designs for designing an awesome paint scheme for me. I know it probably looked pretty good on the broadcast. Get a shout out to my grandfather watching, and brother watching. Yeah, get a shout out to everybody else. Lake Norman Motorsports. Team ran real well together here at the end. We were able to pit together and put us in position to win the race and finish 1-2. And I think we got 4 in the top 6. So that's all in all, it's pretty good.
All right, Scott. Congratulations on the podium finish. We look forward to seeing you. I guess next week. We'll see you next week.
All right, 10-4.
All right, we are now joined by our third place finisher, Chase Cabre. Chase, it was kind of teammates versus you, and at the end there, and didn't have a whole lot of help. I know Jake was trying to work out a deal with you there to try to push you, but ultimately the teammates won out. What more could you have done to win the thing there at the end?
Yeah, it's just typical restrictor plate racing. So I'm glad that we got out of there with decent points. I was ninth in the second stage and third in the race, so it should put us. I don't know if it'll put us in the lead of the points, but yeah, maybe second or third there. So yeah, good points. Daytona is always such a gamble, and being that I'm gonna have to miss next week. Being that I gotta go down to Florida and race. So I wanted to get some decent points leaving there. It's always, like I said, such a toss-up. So, yeah, I had fun doing it.
So you are sticking around for the full season? It wasn't just a one-off for you tonight, Chase?
Yeah, like to run the full season. I normally ran M&R on Mondays, but being that season's done there, I was able to get a part of Elite, and thankful to the guys over here for getting me in it. And yeah, I'm going to try to run both the truck and the Xfinity. I'm not sure if you're allowed to claim points in both series. I'm not exactly sure what the ruling is, but if you can, then yeah, I'd like to run both.
All right, Chase, before we let you jump out of here, any sponsors you want to thank, shout-outs you want to give?
Just you guys. That's a long race to call in the booth, and all the guys who put on the league, and thankful to be a part of it.
All right, Chase, we look forward to seeing what you got here down the stretch here when we get to some mile and halves and short tracks. So good luck next week here, and look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Appreciate it.
And now we are joined by our race winner, Mr. Super Speedway himself, Josh Robin. Josh, take us through the race, how you ultimately made the moves to put yourself in victory lane tonight. And we do not have the potato farmer, apparently.
I'm connected. What?
There he is. Josh, take us through your race tonight. Ultimately, how you put yourself in position to win the thing there.
All right. Well, I qualified 12th, which was bad for me, and I don't know. It's kind of chilled about mid-pack for the first, 20, 30ish, 40 laps, whatever. Then got back up into the top 5 and pretty much hung around there the whole rest of the race. I thought I almost won the first stage, got second there, and then the second stage I got third, so good bonus points for today. And then yeah, the last run is we did, me, Fody, Crump, and Massey, we all pitted together, and that just worked out perfect. And then we held our ground up front, just swapping the lanes, trying to lead both lanes and all that. And yeah, I don't know, I was hoping to be in the middle lane to lead, to try to win because I don't know I decided I like to be in that second lane. But I guess off 4, I think the third lane kind of slowed down the middle there, and that gave me the momentum to win.
Yeah, and you knew you were at Daytona, right? Not Talladega. You were driving that Talladega car out there. We had that
That's
discussion about if you
right.
knew where you were.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll race this at Daytona or Talladega too.
Well, Josh, before we let you get out here and celebrate, who helps get you to the track every week, and what can we expect to see moving forward here? Are we going to see a championship around here out of this car this year?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna win the championship. Easy.
And sponsors, any shout outs here?
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, I don't have any sponsors, but shout out to you guys for broadcasting and all the viewers that watched. Everybody that raced, it was a great race, and my teammates, that's right, Lake Norman Motorsports, 1-2 finish, and see you next week, I guess.
All right, Josh, congrats on starting the season on the right foot, and we look forward to seeing what you got here to try to go and wrestle that title away from Tyler Fode. He seems to be the guy everybody's chasing, so maybe you can be the guy to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, Chris, that was our podium finishers. Any final thoughts from you, my friend?
Well, we saw a lot of chaos tonight. We saw a lot of different situations play out. We see, lots of no cautions there with the wrecks, the way they went down, and everybody frustrated about no cautions and not having cautions. You know what would cure all that? They just quit wrecking and maybe be a little bit more respectful on the racetrack. But I guess we'll see what happens, and hopefully Wednesday goes better than what we've seen the last 2 nights, have a little bit more give and take. Because we all know that these drivers are capable of running clean and not running into each other and whatnot. So we'll just see how it goes from here. Look forward. Really happy to get the season back going here. I've missed you over the off season, Mr. Hill. I've missed these elite races. Ready to get to racing myself, get some broadcast going here, and hopefully moving forward. Well, it would be nice if that was the worst race of the season. It gets just better from here. Caution free next week. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm glad this one's over. ARCA tomorrow night at Daytona. We'll see you there. Have a good night, everybody.